As happy as I'm sure we all are to say goodbye to winter and hello to spring, let's face it, that's also going to mean saying hello to those pesky pests that can sometimes get in the house and the yard. The perfect time then for us to be checking in with Erik Gardner at Volunteer Rid of Pest. Good to see you this morning.
It's great to see you.
So I think a lot of us were kind of pleased, unless you're a snow lover, to see the milder winter that we had this year, but you were sharing with me that means that the spring and summer months could be a little bit more tricky with mosquitoes and things like that.
Yeah, it's funny. We're still, we just got out of February. We were getting calls last week about mosquitoes already. So, we get a few warm days and all the insects come back to life.
You are local, Erik, and so when you get a phone call from somebody, you're able to get to their area pretty quickly, and because you're local, I think you've told me in the past, you know that certain parts of the viewing area are just more prone to particular problems than others.
That's one of the advantages of being a local company. We know the local bugs that we have issues with, and we know areas that are prone to have more of a problem with, say, the lady beetle, which is typically higher elevation, Signal Mountain, Lookout Mountain, and those areas. And we've got our guys located. We've got one of our guys lives on Signal Mountain. So if you got a problem, we can get him out really quick because he's your neighbor. We got one of our guys lives in Hickson. We can get him out really quick because he's your neighbor. We got a guy that lives in North Georgia. So wherever you are, we can get somebody out really fast.
Okay, talk about the ounce of prevention. That's a big one in your business. I guess you can't help it if an animal gets in to your crawl space, and you've got to have help getting that out. But when it comes to termites and roaches and the constant issues, you want to be ahead of the game, right?
Yeah, well, it just makes sense. You can be reactive or you can be proactive. And it's typically the people who are proactive spend less money because they prevent the problem before it becomes a problem. A lot of people don't protect their home from termites. They just get that bad experience when they find out they've got them and they've already done some damage. You can prevent ants from getting into your home. You can prevent all these different insects from getting in just by having quarterly treatment. Treat your home 4 times a year and you don't have to worry about it.
What are the big concerns? We seem to have had a rather wet winter, and spring always brings a lot of rain. What types of activity does that kind of weather bring into your house? Roaches, are they a problem in the water?
They certainly can be. Insects need, just like human beings, food, shelter, and water. Food, shelter, water. And so the more rain we get, the more abundance water is. They love moisture. So they typically will breed faster. You're going to have more of them. And when you have a mild winter, typically a lot of them go dormant. And this year, a lot of them, other than a few cold spells, they really didn't have much of a winter. So they've been active all winter reproducing. We just have more insects now than we typically do starting this early. So yeah, the rainy season brings more bugs.
Is there a difference what your house is going to experience if you have a crawl space versus a basement, whether you're built on a slab or not? Does that affect anything?
Yeah, it can play a big role in the number of insects that you have access to your house. Under a crawl space, it's a closed, moist environment. And typically that's where most of the insect problems come from. Most termite pest control companies don't even treat under crawl spaces. We do. That's one thing we're big on because that's the source of the problem most of the time. So when we come to your home the first time, we're going to get under that crawl space, see what's going on, and make sure we take care of it. And a lot of times, most homeowners don't wander there. It's not a very welcoming place. And we look for leaky water lines, heat and air ducts that may have been damaged by wildlife. We look for a lot of different things just to give you a full report so you know what's going on with your home.
What does that first visit look like? Is it up to the homeowner to say, this is my problem, and identify it for you? Or do you come out and do your own surveillance?
Well, typically both. They'll call in and say, hey, I'm having a problem with this. And then we want to look around and see if there might be something else they're not aware of. And we want to find the source of the problem. So we don't want to put a Band-Aid on it and treat where they show us. We want to figure out, where's this coming from? Give them the permanent solution so that they don't continue to have the problem. So we do a thorough inspection and we treat as needed. We explain the process to the homeowner. And if you got a crawl space, we're going to get under it.
I think the first time I met you, pretty much, you were real eager to talk about, this was years ago, but the mosquito treatment that you're able to do in the backyard. We're lucky enough to live in a beautiful climate. Our backyards are another part of our home, really. You can't enjoy it when those mosquitoes are a problem.
My mom, what got us started in this, my mom was go out and water her flowers every evening. and she'd be attacked by mosquitoes. And so I was trying to come up with some way to help her. So we decided we were going to try some different things, and we came up with a system that worked really well. And I thought, if it'll work for a few weeks, that'll be good. Well, it turned out it would work for about a month, and she wouldn't have any problem. Then they'd come back. So what we do, we use a product and we put it in a backpack mist applicator. We just treat all the foliage in your yard. Mosquitoes are short distance flyers. They can travel a long way, but they do it in shorter legs. They stop and rest along the way. Well, when they stop and rest on the foliage we've treated, they don't go any further. And it has worked amazingly well. We have a money-back guarantee. If we treat your lawn and you get a mosquito bite, we'll come back and treat again for free. If you still aren't happy, we'll give you money back. So we take all the risk.
And does it damage the plants? I mean, do you have to put it on foliage that you're not going to want to enjoy?
No, we have never had it damage any plants. We've used it on all different kinds of shrubbery and trees. Never had it damage anything. Some people are concerned about the pollinators, honeybees. Well, we have several materials that we use. If that's a concern for you, if you have blooming plants, we can use that product, and in the dried state, it will not harm pollinators. So we have a material for just virtually any situation. We can keep your home mosquito free.
Okay, and before I leave that topic then, on the mosquito one, you said it lasted initially about 4 weeks. So does that mean you want to have it applied monthly over the course of the spring and summer?
Yes, it is a monthly service.
Okay.
Unfortunately, not as long as it'll last, but yeah, do it monthly and just typically March through October.
All right, so if you are in Chattanooga proper, not on the mountains, what is going to be your primary bugaboo, pardon the pun, the next couple of months? What's the main issue? Ants and roaches?
Yeah, we get more calls for ants than anything else. Different type of ants. They get in on the kitchen counter, in the kitchen sink, drive the homeowner crazy. They'll go away for a few days, then they come back. And typically, people try to treat them themselves first, and it typically makes the problem worse because it'll sort of spread them out to other areas. But we'll come in, we'll figure out where the nesting sites are, and we'll get them gone.
All right, so you're located here in Chattanooga, but as you just mentioned, you've got your employees kind of positioned all across the viewing area. So no matter where you're calling in from, they should have a tech who can get to you pretty quickly. Is that right?
Yep, that's our goal. If you have a problem, we want to be the first one there, and we want to solve it for you.
All right, Erik Gardner, always good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Here's the phone number where you can call them. It's Volunteer Rid of Pest right here in Chattanooga, now located at One Park Place. The phone number 472-7736. Online, it's volpest.com. We're back after this.
James.